Thank you, Julius, former Foreign Affairs Minister, former MP for Kumu, former Assembly Member for Tolong Kumbu, former Presiding Member, former running mate to the late Prof. Mills, and now elected the Northern Region representative onto the Council of State, alongside 15 others. Well, 2 are outstanding, and Eno is going to tell us about those 2 regions.
Yes, so in the Northeast region, the Electoral Commission has scheduled a rerun of the Council of State election for February 13 after a tie between 2 of the 7 aspirants. Out of the 12 delegates who voted, each of the 2 candidates secured 6 votes. Speaking after the election, Northeast Regional AC Director Yao Pogu confirmed the decision to hold a rerun to determine the winner.
At the end of the poll, there was equality of vote among 2 candidates. The equality of vote simply means that we cannot determine the winner. Okay. And of course, we also need to determine the winner of an election. And then per the directives of the commission, the election has been postponed to Thursday for us to do the time. 7 candidates contested for the first round. But as the rule states, because there's equality of vote, it's going to be heard among the 2 highest votes. In that case, it is between Sak Abuba and then the Asagiri Nasamu.
Yao Poku is the EC Director for the Northeast region. In the Ashanti region, the Ghana Police Service has launched a manhunt for thugs who stormed the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, disrupting the Council of State regional elections in Kumasi on Tuesday, February 11, 2025. Eyewitnesses reported that the attackers forcefully entered the venue, overturned tables, destroyed ballot boxes and scattered voting materials, forcing Electoral Commission officials to suspend the process. The chaos is believed to have been sparked by the unexpected defeat of National Democratic Congress candidate Yao Owusu Obimpe, who was widely tipped to win. Aggrieved supporters allegedly instigated the violence, demanding a review of the results. In a statement, the Ghana Police Service confirmed ongoing efforts to review all available footage to identify and apprehend the perpetrators.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Well, quite rightly.
Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma.
Eh?
The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that we too we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go. Everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Gugomi, at what time when you come back we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make I feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Yo, Pana. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back to Eyewitness News. Let's do some more stories. The Minister of Youth Development and Empowerment and National Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, George Opariado, has assured party members that the recent appointments of executives to key government positions will not weaken the party. So far, 7 executives have been appointed to various roles, including cabinet ministers, chief executive officers of government institutions, and other positions within the presidency. Mr. Opariado, in an interview with City News' Akusia Ochre, indicated that the party's unity and strength would remain intact.
From the party, from the national party, there are just 3 of us that are out. Myself, Sami JV, and Malik Basintelli.
And there's Osman Ayariga.
And then Osman Ayariga, yes. But the position Osman holds, the position Malik holds, they can still do party work.
And there's also Amaleba as well. Eduji Tamaklu.
And I'm saying, see, Eduji and Co were all not elected. They were appointed positions. The elected officers is myself, Malik, Osman, and then, if I'm not mistaken, Sami JV. And then Bandi. There are 38 of us at the party office. So if 4 are taken out, the party has a lot of people, a lot of human resource to fill the gap. But we are not gone. We will still definitely support the party one way or the other when we have to. And so the party will not be weakened. That I can assure everybody. We still have a lot of human resource that will fill in for us when we are not.
Still see the Pablo, doing all the demonstrations and all that.
Elections is next year. I will not contest for re-election. So somebody else will take my place.
Are you resigning before that?
There is no law that asks me to resign. If the president asks me to resign from the party position, I will resign. But as it stands now, I will not be the first national officer holding an appointment in government and still holding on to his position. But if I have to, I will do it. But for now, there is nothing or there is no law that says that I have to resign.
Minister of Youth Development and Empowerment and National Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, George Opariado. The Operation Recover All Loot team has indicated that many of the corruption cases submitted to President John Dramani Mahama on February 10 require detailed audits to establish wrongdoing and determine legal action. The report, which documents over 2,417 cases, is the result of extensive efforts to compile corruption-related complaints across various sectors. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, former Auditor General and Oral Team member Daniel Domlevo urged the need for independent financial and procurement audits to verify allegations. He also clarified that Oral lacks investigative authority and called on relevant agencies to conduct forensic audits before pursuing legal action.
He thought it wise to have a team who people could go to so that we can collect all this information and then more as it were, separate them into various categories which he can give to the Attorney General to work on. So the information we presented yesterday, for instance, there are some which have to do with issues bordering on corruption and corruption-related cases, which I expect that the Attorney General may push them to the OSP. There are some which border on organized crime and money laundering, etc., which I expect may go to YOCO. The bulk of it needs auditing. So to establish whether those procurement processes and disbursements were in line with the legislation. So I think that occasioned it.
He also expressed concern over the publication of names of government officials alleged to have engaged in corrupt acts. Mr. Domlevo argues that some such officials could tamper with evidence ahead of prosecution.
Personally, that was always my concern, that if we don't take time, by the time we reach there, the evidence that we have will have been erased or created. Today, as we are giving the heads up to them, many of the people will have done this and dot the I's and cross the T's, such that it's very difficult to nail them. So on that note, let me be honest with you. This is my position, not the committee or the team's position. I would have wished that we just inform the public that, yes, we have done our work finished, we collected our report, and we have given it to the president. And he is giving to the Attorney General. We will hear from the Attorney General.
Daniel Dumlevo is a member of the Operation Recover All Loot team and former Auditor General.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTF. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has directed his Finance Minister, Dr. Kizza Atuforsin, to take urgent steps to address the funding gap created by the suspension of the United States Agency for International Development USAID program. A February 11 statement from the presidency highlighted Mahama's deep concern over the estimated $156 million deficit, warning of its potential impact on critical health and social intervention programs. Of particular urgency is a $78.2 million shortfall. Essentially, the president is asking his Minister for Finance to find money following the lacuna created by Donald Trump's decision to suspend U.S. aid. So, where are we going to get the money from? Patrick Esumin is an economist and a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening to listeners.
Good evening to you. Even before Atuforsin presents his budget to Parliament, he's been given this Herculean task by the president: find money, fix the issue, solve the problem. Where are we going to get that money from?
Well, I think the first thing is that the amount, 150 million, that's been put out, well, at current exchange rate, that's just about 2.2 billion Ghana cedis, 2.3 billion thereabout. Now, if you look at what we are projecting to collect in revenues in 2025, it's about 208 billion. Or what we are projecting to spend in 2025 is about 241. So in that context, in the broader scheme of things, it looks like a small amount. That, finding some readjustment here and there, you should be able to find it. In particular, if you consider that this is presumably a leaner government, at least based on the number of ministers we've seen alone. That's a leaner government. So you should be able to make the 2.3 billion or so savings to take it up. But I think that amount that was put out in the statement only reflects a portion of the support that the USA had given to the government. That's probably the government-to-government part. There are other forms of funding that doesn't go through government, that go through other agencies. That will probably be more than that. And when those fundings are withdrawn, it means that the slack has been picked up by government. And then when you look at that, suddenly it becomes a bigger amount. So, in terms of what we can do, well, if we even saved a small portion from the gold border has been set up, even the amount of gold that gets smuggled out of this country, if we save only a tiny fraction, we should be able to cover this up. But I think the bigger conversation and the bigger picture is how we should interpret actions like this in the longer term. Because when people are giving us aid, yes, we are receiving, but aid always is strategic. It's in the strategic interest of the giver. That is why they give the aid. So if you build a country where you are extremely dependent on aid, you should know that, like has happened, somebody can suddenly wake up one day and say the aid is not coming. Like exactly what has happened. I'm sure the impact is already being felt, especially in the places where the USAID is responsible for providing supplies and specific commodities and medications and other things. That impact is being felt. So the broader thing that I think we should focus on is what this means for us in terms of our long-term strategy going forward. We missed a chance during the COVID to learn this lesson. You recall that during the COVID, at the time when the vaccine started flowing, the countries that had the vaccine decided to hoard them and decided that until they are done satisfying themselves, they're not going to release the vaccine, even including some developing countries. That should have told us that there are some things that we cannot depend on others to finance. The president did mention about 78 or so million dollars that is coming from, that's going to the health. There are critical commodities that are funded by donors. And I think going forward, we need to begin to think about what we have to do and what we want to depend on foreign aid for. I think for me, that's a bigger question. But in terms of the quantum of the monies we are talking about, I think it shouldn't be too difficult to find it.
You make it sound like it's easy to plug the loophole, but you also do know that the money we'll be using to plug that loophole, that lacuna that is going to be created, would have been voted for other projects or would have been planned for something else. So either way, something got to give.
Oh, absolutely. When I say that, in percentage terms, it's small and we can find it, obviously something has to give. We have to decide what matters to us and what doesn't matter to us. I think, the conversation, the item you just played gives us an idea that there's a lot of inefficiencies in our public expenditure, and there are also a lot of revenue to be collected. So, in principle, it is not a difficult thing. However, plugging loopholes or collecting uncollected revenues take time to collect. You need to make institutional reforms. You need to make adjustments. I think that is where, when the cut is sudden, as this one is, it becomes even more painful to make the adjustment. Don't forget that this is also a government that has just come to power, trying to put the team together. Like you said, the first budget has not even been read. So when you immediately when you immediately have to find this, I think even the psychology of finding where to cut and where not to cut is even more painful. So I think it's the suddenness more than anything. But in terms of, even if you think about the savings, the president has announced that, he doesn't want his ministers to travel first class or second or business class. That will bring some savings. If you cut the ministers, that will bring some savings. But those things will take a little bit of time to materialize. So within the amount that was approved for the first quarter, I think finding some money within that to solve the immediate challenge, I think that's what's the bigger challenge. But in terms of the broader scheme of things, finding 2.2 or 2.3 billion is not necessarily the biggest challenge.
Very well. Thank you so much. We'll wait to see what exactly the minister will do. But thank you for the views.
You're welcome.
That's Patrick Esumi. He's economist and senior lecturer at the University of Ghana. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTF. We'll be returning with business news shortly. Please don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Inosafa. Let's settle for the details. Government says it will tackle challenges facing Ghanaian workers to enhance productivity and service delivery. Speaking during his first official engagement with staff and management of the ministry, the Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Abdul Rashid Pelpo, stressed the need to strengthen economic resilience and accelerate recovery, while highlighting the role of private sector partnerships in driving job creation and sustaining long-term growth. He reminded government sector employees that the current economic climate requires an all-hands-on-deck approach.
We are open to have a discussion, close discussion with the workers, and they, I believe, are willing to understand where we have gotten to, how far we have sunk in our economy, and how far we need to rise to pick up the pieces and ensure that the government is controlling a worthy economy where payment of workers to the point where they can be satisfied. I would focus on building the capacity of staff and strengthen the institutions of the ministry and provide needed service deliveries. I appeal to all staff to bring their expertise and knowledge as we deliver on the government mandates. I ask you all to be not neutral and non-partisan in your attitude towards work across all levels.
That was the Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Abdul Rashid Pelpo. Government has appointed Michael Harry Amson as the new administrator of the District Assembly's Common Fund, with a mandate to improve efficiency and transparency in the fund's management. The appointee is a seasoned business strategist, governance expert, and marketing specialist. He brings extensive experience from both the corporate and advisory sectors. He currently serves as a board member at Unichem Ghana Group and has been managing partner at Ishmael Yamson and Associates since 2021. His career includes leadership roles at Unilever, Celtel International, and MTI Ghana Limited, where he specialized in brand development, investment strategy, and market growth. Now, as the government and the International Monetary Fund conclude day 2 of their 5-day budget policy talks, analysts are calling for stronger fiscal discipline. They want the government to focus on expenditure rationalization to narrow the budget deficit, which is projected to decline to 4.2% in 2025 as fiscal consolidation efforts take shape. As part of cost-cutting measures, the government has reduced the number of ministers to 60 and imposed a ban on non-essential foreign travel for appointees. Speaking to City Business News, economist Professor Peter Korte expressed confidence that the discussions will help sustain the country's growth momentum.
I think the fiscal consolidation efforts to continue. We should try and spend reasonably. We should try and spend within budget, because you've seen the stability it's bringing, the confidence the IMF program is also bringing to us. My only concern now is whether the IMF might want to revise our program and maybe accommodate additional resources, given the challenge with US aid that is affecting certain inflows. But nevertheless, there are other options. I expect transparency and frankness on the part of government, as well as frank discussion from the IMF. I believe this will augur well. I expect this transparent discussion to continue, and if there is a need to tighten the fiscal space a bit more, that should be done.
Economist Professor Peter Korte there. Currency volatility, high energy costs, and market restrictions limiting competition are pushing internet data prices higher as some consumers spend more on data than on essential items like food. Government has announced plans to establish a multi-stakeholder team to develop a roadmap for reducing data costs in Ghana. It is on the back of this that consumer advocacy group Cuts International wants the government to address structural issues in Ghana's telecom sector through a balanced approach that ensures both consumers and network operators are not shortchanged. Here's the West Africa Director of Cuts International, Apiakusi Adomako, speaking to City Business News.
For the past 4 or 5 years, there has been this growing sentiment in the country that data cost is on the higher side, and this is kind of affecting consumers and internet users' pockets. And if we do not do anything about it, I think that we'll be doing disservice to consumers and also businesses. I'm also concerned about whatever action that we will do will not go to lead to market distortion. And when you look at the cost of data build-up in Ghana, and I've been following the literature, one of the issues has been the high cost of power. And if, for example, they can move their cell site to renewable, that they can save more. And what can we do to, give them the incentive to move to renewable? One way is to take away the VAT, get fund a national insurance levy on all solar gadgets that are meant for telecom cell sites.
That was the West Africa Director of Cuts International, Apiakusi Adomako. Just before we go, the push for a 24-hour economy is gaining momentum as businesses recognize the economic advantages of round-the-clock operations. With a shift away from the traditional 9-to-5 model, companies are adopting flexible work structures to enhance productivity, drive revenue, and meet growing...
The feedback has been positive. Our operations run in 2 shifts, the first from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the second from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Security is always a concern, but we have implemented robust measures to ensure safety and provide transportation to a central location for staff working late hours. Although operational costs such as electricity and transport have increased, we remain optimistic that this initiative will yield higher returns. By being the first to implement it and only automobile company offering this level of service, we hope it will set us apart in the market.
But while some businesses are testing the waters, others that already operate 24 hours are highlighting critical challenges. District 24 restaurant, which has been running on a round-the-clock model, is stressing the need for government-backed policies, calling for enhanced security and tax waivers to ease operational costs. One of the supervisors at the restaurant, Bismarck Adams, says for such businesses, sustaining profitability in a 24-hour economy would depend on a supportive policy framework that addresses challenges.
We need support because it's not easy for someone to having like 500 employers in Ghana here. It's not easy. So if any support will come, we'll be very, very, very grateful about it. At least if maybe they can put maybe some effort in financially, we'll be very grateful about it because sometimes maybe like there's a lot of challenges. Like I said earlier, the gas is on 24/7, the light is on 24/7. So if any measures or if maybe any support or something like that, we'll be appreciating about that one.
The shift is not limited to the private sector. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority has indicated its willingness to transition to a 24-hour service delivery. If fully implemented, this could significantly reduce bottlenecks at its offices, improving efficiency for businesses and individuals alike. Julius Nikwe Kote is Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority.
When you want to do license re-registration or license registration, what prevents you from coming to do it in the evening? Is it that we need extra lights? We need what do you need? We have all the projects over there available, so we'll just activate it and we'll start. So the 24-hour economy in DVLA will start with the Okada registration as soon as possible.
Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, Julius Nikwe Kote, ending that report put together by City Business News' Netelinete Ajaho and Daniel Sakite. That's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Inu Safo. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work?
Yes.
Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sandama. Tonight on Point Blank, we're going to hear from Speaker Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin. Now, he has expressed concerns over disorder in the House whenever his deputies are presiding over proceedings. The Speaker says the situation has arisen due to a court ruling that allows his deputies to be partial and be members of Parliament. He made the remarks at a breakfast prayer meeting in Parliament today. Let's listen to him.
One of the distinguishing hallmarks of an altruistic and conscientious leader is the ability to give others the invaluable gift of selfless service. Such leaders cultivate an environment where collaboration and support thrive, inspiring those around them to rise to their full potential. The honorable members gathered here today, I respectfully implore you to eschew ego. Ego. To eschew indiscipline and the air of superiority complex, and climb down from the high horses to the level of your constituents. Humble yourselves and accord purity to the needs of your constituents. It is through their embodiment of genuine leadership that one is able to cultivate a profound sense of community, while also instilling a higher purpose of integrity that promotes a collective vision which surpasses individual aspirations. I'm happy you are all gathered here. Have a weapon I'll use on the floor. And so I'll call for the names of all those present here. And I'll apply it on the floor. We need to work together. A community enriched by servant leaders is a testament to the empowerment of its members. Such leadership not only elevates individual talents and experiences, but also contributes to safeguard a better, healthier, and stronger parliament. Ultimately, such a parliament becomes a blessing to the society as a whole. Legacy of leadership, in whatever capacity, whether as a devoted member of God, advancing the spiritual development of your congregation, a distinguished traditional leader, shaping the dynamics of your community, a strategic manager, overseeing a corporate team, or a dedicated political leader advocating for your constituents. One's foremost obligation ought to be the service of the populace and the enhancement of the nation's welfare. In this era of the fourth industrial revolution, in which the world has become a global village, we as leaders must not overlook or disregard the fact that whatever we do today is not only observed by the youth through their lenses, but also becomes the touchstones by which we are judged. We should always strive to be remembered for the wrongs we corrected, rather than the rights we abused. And this is copiously covered in the Holy Bible. Our legacies are the guides. They are the touchstones. And Proverbs 11:14 says, when there is no guidance, a person falls. But when there are many counselors, there is safety. As leaders of today, we must confront a crucial question. Are we truly exemplifying the values that will inspire our youth? Or are we inadvertently becoming the distractions that could lead to the downfall of our nation? The profound words of one French author, Francis de la Rochefoucauld, said, and I quote, "Nothing is as contagious as example." Nothing is as contagious as example. We never perform a great deed or act of evil that does not provide its likeness. So when, as elected representatives, you stand on the floor of Parliament and think you are joking, you are setting examples. It's not what you are saying, but what you are doing. It's not how many times you go to church or to the mosque. It's the examples that you are living for generations. Imagine a future where the youth recount stories of our leadership with disappointment, viewing us as missed opportunities rather than catalysts for change. That vision is not just disheartening, it's a wake-up call. Benjamin Disraeli, a former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, reminds us of one responsibility. What is that responsibility? He says, the youth of a nation are the trustees of prosperity. The youth of a nation are the trustees of prosperity. We have the power now to change the narrative of tomorrow. Let us strive to be exemplary leaders whose legacy inspires greatness, igniting passion and purpose in the generations that follow. The future depends on the examples we set today. I returned from Morocco yesterday. I was in office here yesterday. I was given the honor because I'm the president of all the speakers and presidents of parliaments and legislatures in Africa. This is my second term on that seat, and I have three more years. So I was given the honor to chair the proceedings. Please, we are sleeping. We better wake up. Simple, transformational, generational decisions are transforming that country. And yet we, blessed country like Ghana, placed at the center of the whole world, will wallow in poverty. How? How? They are using their position, the place where God put them, between Atlantic, the Mediterranean, Africa, and Europe. Only that one is what they are building their nation on. And we are at the center of the whole world, the fulcrum, the heart of the world. For lack of knowledge, the people perish. The association said it all. Ghana is imprisoned in the past. So when I sit down and hear a display of ignorance about even the past, I weep in silence. People are talking about what happened before, during the struggle to independence, and after. And that has enslaved all of us. That is the challenge. We all need to be sent to school. Because most of what you are reading is not the truth. And I blame those who captured them in literature. But what is education about? If you cannot liberate your mind. Yes, Bob Marley said it long ago. That is all the challenge we have. Brothers and sisters, husbands and wives, political differences, religious differences, and they are up in war against each other. I just have to say a few things about what is happening in Parliament today. I have never imagined that what is happening in Parliament could ever happen in Ghana's Parliament. I served in the first Parliament. There was no established conditions of service. Nobody in that Parliament spoke about money. We're giving, today you term it, is it 2 Ghana cedis or 2 pesos? We're not 20 Ghana, we're giving 20 old cedis. 20 old cedis. Now it's about 2 Ghana cedis. 2 pesos. Yes. We are fed at this banquet hall. We walk from the International Conference Center and come and eat lunch and go back to sit there till midnight. Because we're given only 6 months by the Constitution to pass critical laws to establish the institutions of governance. Nobody talked about money. Today, moneycracy. And so, deservedly, we have observed a recurrent pattern of critique emanating from both local and international media, as well as from the esteemed citizens of Ghana concerning our conduct and the integrity associated with the designation of the word honorable. I personally refrained from using that title, honorable, for members of parliament in one of my former communications in parliament. I'm sure you all observed it. I refused to use it because I couldn't be deceiving myself by calling you honorable when your conduct and everything doesn't show honor. And I reminded you of that communication. As a Catholic, I know when you sin, you have to first acknowledge that you have sinned. Then you proceed to confess it openly and suffer a penalty for it. Before God can ever think of forgiving you. So it took some time before leadership came to apologize. But during that apology, you realize what I did. Because I was still hearing murmurs showing that people were not remorseful. That's why I asked the question. Anybody who is not remorseful, stand up. Be on your feet so that we see. And I saw members here prevail on some who attempted to stand up, which meant that some were not remorseful. How could God forgive us? The exhortation said it all. It is imperative to acknowledge that our actions are a direct reflection of our words. And we should never underrate the power of the word. That is why John 1 says it all. Even though the word there is reference to Jesus Christ, the word of God. But it's a testimony as to the power of the word, because nothing was created without the word. That is why the other Pentecostal church says, what God cannot do does not exist. And what you say is not only to the society, it's also to yourself. And it will manifest itself in you. So once articulated, our statements become irrevocable, and their repercussions may profoundly impact our reputations. As a young secondary school lad, I used to write on my essay books, what is done cannot be undone. So the best solution is not to do it. It becomes indelible. So what we are doing and thinking that you come back and say, oh, I'm sorry, is be undone. No, you are attacked with it forever. And future generations will be quoting you. So it is utmost importance that we engage in communication that edify. Communication that creates and brings peace. We should engage in conduct with the highest degree of decency, simplicity, humility, professionalism, and accountability. You would have heard me say, I'm establishing a National Integrity Award. And I mean it. The proposals have been given to me already. I have a draft here. And that will not only be for Parliament. I want it to be for the nation.
Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, speaking on a number of issues there today at a breakfast meeting. That's by way of Eyewitness News tonight, which came to you from our studios in Accra. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. I did this with Eno Safo. Production by Corbina Wilson, Bevelyn Landon, and Sami Wiafe. With support from Manuel Yama. The technical support from Emmanuel Latte. Emmanuel Wusu of the New Media team led the team that broadcasts for us on our various social media platforms. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Have a good night.